keep your BW as is. That's the first thing. You can just take it with you. There's no need to, let's say, spend effort on how do I move this, how do I move that. Take it BW as is, lift it to the private cloud within SAP Business Data Cloud.
Namaste and welcome to the 5th podcast episode of the year 2025. On behalf of the whole SAP family, I would like to thank you for tuning in. In this episode, we would start with what's new from SAP BTP and its services, then deep dive into a discussion with experts on how organizations can transition from traditional BW landscapes to SAP Business Data Cloud using a structured lift, shift, and innovate approach. We deep dive into the technical implementation using the data product generator, providing practical insights and strategies to ensure a seamless transformation. Whether you are beginning your modernization journey or optimizing your existing roadmap, this talk offers the key steps and architectural considerations needed to unlock the full potential of your data in the cloud, followed by some roadmap items from SAP BTP. So stay tuned till the end. Starting with the What's New section, now we all know how important is SAP BTP Developers Guide when it comes to developing a business application on SAP BTP with best practices. To augment that journey, there is a new chapter that introduces you to continuous integration and delivery, often goes by the name of CI/CD, as well as SAP's solution for it. So check that out in the show notes. We have mentioned the link over there. How can the What's New section be complete without talking about Joule? With the new features in the SAP S/4HANA Cloud Public Edition, you can check whether a sales order's fulfillment is on track or not and identify the issues that block its fulfillment. Additionally, with Joule, you can fetch prices that will expire soon, extend their valid to dates, and adjust their condition amounts or ratios as you need. Next one. In the SAP S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition, Joule transactional use cases are now enabled for cash management capabilities, including monitoring bank statements, analyzing cash flows, and initiating bank transfers. There are more such capabilities within SAP S/4HANA Cloud Private Edition. Please check the show notes for links to more details. Also, Joule integration is now possible with Microsoft 365 Copilot, where you can leverage the Joule capabilities within Microsoft 365 Copilot Business Chat. These were just few selections from the list of items that are new to SAP BTP services. To know more, take a look at the links mentioned in the show notes. Now moving to the section where we invite guests to discuss on some selected topics. And this time, we will deep dive and understand how modernizing your SAP Business Warehouse systems is essential to stay agile, data-driven, and be future-ready. And for that, I would like to welcome Sandy to our June episode of Unlocking SAP BTP. Welcome, Sandy. Can you please, Sandy, introduce yourself to our audience?
Hi, Gaurav. Thanks for having me here. Yes, so I am Sandy. I work as a product manager for SAP Business Data Cloud. And there specifically, I cover topics such as the business warehouse modernization. And I'm happy to be here and tell you more about that.
Thank you so much. Sandy, whenever we invite experts in our podcast, we play a small fun game with them. Do you want to give it a try?
Of course.
Sure. So the game is you give me 2 or 3 words, could be something that you see right now, and I will create a joke with them. If you laugh, I win. And if you don't,
Okay.
I can put my generative AI tool on a learning assignment. So are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first word would be water.
Okay.
And the second one, I'd say flashlight.
Flashlight. Okay. Let's see
I'm already laughing.
what it generates. I have the joke with me, and here it goes. Why did the water bring a flashlight to the pool party? And the answer is because it heard the drinks were on the rocks and wanted to make sure it didn't get lost in the shallow end of the conversation.
Yeah,
Okay, not
not bad.
not
It's
bad,
okay.
but not to make you a big laugh out of it, right? Okay,
True, yeah.
so in that case, I would put my AI tool on a learning assignment. So, listeners, if the words match to what you also see, give us a shout out on our social media channels. And if you can find a better joke, also post that. Our social media handles are in the show notes. Now we resume back to the topic for which we invited our guest to the talk on how enterprises can transition from traditional BW landscapes to SAP Business Data Cloud using a structured lift, shift, and innovate approach. The first question, Sandy, and I feel this will really help us to set the context and bring our listeners on the same page, is what are the key challenges organization face when modernizing their existing BW systems, if you can, put some light on that.
Yes, thank you for the question. So with BW, we know that we already have a large installed base. Customers have invested heavily in BW. So what we definitely see is that customers do already have a historically grown BW system, right? But that comes in with data silos. We have high customization. We have data redundancy as well. And the idea is, or the challenge here is also, how can BW customers make their data in that sense easily accessible? And I believe these are one of the core challenges that our BW customers are currently facing.
Very well put, Sandy. I think the data silos, redundancy are a common problem across, industries. Uh, so, what is BW modernization and why is it especially so relevant for SAP customers now?
Mhm. Yeah. So now with the introduction of Business Data Cloud, what we have introduced here is that we put all the best of data and analytics portfolio of SAP into Business Data Cloud. So we have SAP Analytics Cloud, we have SAP Datasphere, and in addition also SAP Databricks. But then when we looked at our customers, we definitely saw that we also need to address our BW customers. So there was a no-brainer to state we definitely need BW also in Business Data Cloud, right? So this is why it becomes so much more relevant, because now we're not stating you need to get away from your BW system, but we're stating you can take it with you. And that's the big, let's say, game changer here in the whole BW modernization story. And that is why we believe that this is something that comes with Business Data Cloud and why customers should join us on this BW modernization path.
Yeah. And it's imperative, Sandy, that enterprises leverage AI to unlock the true potential of their businesses. So, what are your thoughts? Like, how can organization leverage AI or let's say machine learning to derive more value from their modernized BW systems?
Good question. So basically, what we have thought is what we have thought with BW modernization is not to stick only to what we have today in terms of data management, data warehousing, but to also include those kind of machine learning and AI capabilities with business warehouse. So, what we also introduce now with BW modernization is actually to state take your BW data, create a BW data product out of it and then use it for machine learning and AI use cases. So basically, we're also covering this kind of competence in terms of machine learning AI with SAP Databricks, also with your BW data.
Mhm. Uh, Sandy, you touched upon the business data cloud and data sphere and data products in that. So let's zoom in a bit and discuss that, how does this BW modernization looks like in detail, or let's say the core objectives of, BW modernization.
So then I think we first need to start with the key terms data products and intelligent applications that have been introduced with SAP Business Data Cloud. So I'm going to start with data products first. So here you can, to simply put it, we have, let's say, a shell of data structure, metadata, and information that is already enriched, well described. And the idea with data products is it's like a shell and you want to fill it with your own data. That's let's say the concept of data products in a nutshell. Then we have intelligent applications that kind of goes beyond the basic and raw data format, but rather amplifies on what you already have in terms of analytics. That means on the one hand side, you don't just get data products with intelligent applications, but you have to imagine this more in a analytical way. So you have your data products, but on top of that, you also have your analytical models as well. And then you might also have a story on SAC side, so Analytics Cloud, that visualizes all the data models that you have in the analytic models. And then the idea here is that you can use AI with natural language processing to ask some questions in terms of what are my top 5 customers and so on. So the intelligent applications really provides you with an end-to-end product that allows you to get the data as well as get the best insight and context out of your data, right? So we're starting off with these 2 terms. We have data products and intelligent applications. So now how does this actually concern BW modernization? So with BW modernization in SAP Business Data Cloud, we envision customers to have the following approach. So first of all, we propose customers to do a lift. Lift basically means just take your BW as is. It could be either BW 7.5, it could be a BW 4. Take it with you to the private cloud and let it be SAP managed. That's the first prerequisite that we're having. That's the lift step. Then the next step is the shift. So once your BW is inside of the private cloud, the next step would be here to dive into BW data products. And for that, we have introduced a new tool. You already mentioned it before, the data product generator, that will help you to accelerate on moving your BW investments, but also to work on data products like we will have with Business Data Cloud, but in a more BW fashion by stating you can create, based on your BW data models, dedicated BW data products that are easily accessible also, for instance, for SAP Databricks. Right, so that's the shift part where you kind of explore what kind of data models do I really need, which ones are crucial that I want to move from my BW private cloud to Business Data Cloud, in the sense of to Datasphere to do some analytics use cases, or to Databricks to do some AI or machine learning use cases. So once you do the shift process in this regard, the next step is to innovate. And with innovate, we actually mean now it's the best time to explore the best of Business Data Cloud. So are there any potential data products that I can leverage? Are there any intelligent applications that help me to reduce time to model, time to report, that I already can use as is and derive my relevant business context out of the visualizations, out of the data, right? So the innovate part is really about, are there some existing BW data flows that can be replaced with data products, with intelligent applications, in order to become or move forward to a business data cloud clean core in that sense, right? And that is basically the 3 steps that we envision: the shift, lift, and innovate part.
Thank you so much, Sandy. And I really like the way you broke it down into small pieces, connecting with SAC. So giving that whole, context in a complete end-to-end picture. Uh, I'm sure that, Sandy, you would also agree, even our listeners would agree, that in businesses, it's often, or let's say mostly all about collaboration, and there is no solo sports to it. So how can, modernized BW systems enhance collaboration between IT and your line of businesses? If you can talk a little bit on that.
Mhm. Sure. For that, I think I can tell you more about the user journey that we envision with BW modernization. So as I've mentioned, we would like to drive forward the concept of having BW data products instead of mere data models. And the idea behind it is that with BW data products, imagine it like this. I, as a line of business user, I would like to answer a relevant business questions for me. So here what I would do is, I need to find the right data set. I would need to find the right guide to help me in terms of provisioning that kind of data to me. So what do we ease in that context? So the user journey with BW data products will look as follows. So now I can just simply dive into my catalog. The catalog derives all the metadata, all the lineage from my BW data models. So now I would like to answer a sales question. So I'm, as a LOB, I'm just typing in the sales, for instance. So what I will get are all the relevant data products in this regard that are residing or coming from my BW. And here I can simply discover it, request it. So as an LOB, I know exactly, okay, this is the metadata or this is the data product that I want to have. I see the enriched description. I know it's well described. So I can see this is what I need. I request it. And then from IT side, I'm the one who will provision that kind of data product to me, ensuring no data silos because it's discoverable for everyone, right? You see it in the catalog, everyone can search for it. Of course, there will be governance in terms of who can actually use it. But the first step is that the LOBs have a, let's say, a lesser entry barrier in terms of finding the right asset. That's the first thing. Once you find it, you request it. From IT side, I will provisioning it and I will ensure there's no data redundancy because that's the whole concept with data products. You expose it, you make it discoverable, but you also ensure it's, let's say, only replicated once or not even replicated, but it's only federated. So in that sense, we have on the one hand side the mitigation of risks in terms of data redundancy, data silos. But on the other side, we provide a self-service for LOBs to find the right assets to answer the questions in their business context.
Thanks, Sandy,
Yeah.
for putting that. And I'm sure that would be, let's say, music to the ears of IT heads and LOB heads. Like, it's not just about only big data, but also with clean data as well. So thanks for beautifully articulating it. How is it, technically implemented? If you can, let's say, on a high level, mention those steps, that would be really helpful.
Mhm. Yeah. So first of all, the lift process can be done by partners or SAP services. Basically, you have your BW on premise, and then we'll move it to an SAP managed environment. That is, let's say, the easier process. The second one is the shift process, meaning the data product generator. So how do I really create data products? And there we definitely see challenges in terms of finding the right assets, which assets do we need, which assets can be deleted, things like that. So in this regard, the data pro generator will work as follows. So I'm going to be a little bit more technical, so bear with me here now. So the first thing is that we have introduced the data product generator for one of BW 7.5 and then one for BW 4. So for BW 7.5, we will have a sub GUI interface, a transaction, and a program that needs to be run. On BW 4, you can just simply jump into your BW 4 cockpit, and then there's a dedicated tile for the data product generator. What is happening underneath is that we will select a certain info provider. And the best thing here is, I need to mention that, is that we not only support BW4 info providers, but also BW 7.5 info providers. So we're covering info cubes. We have multi-provider, but then of course composite provider. We have DSOs, ADSOs, and that really helps customers to also move from 7.5 to Business Data Cloud, right? So that is something that you would select in a so-called subscription. That is how it's called. And inside of the subscription, you will provide the description, give it a meaningful one, of course. Then you can have some selections in case you only want the last 3 years, for instance. We have also some projections if you would like to exclude some columns. And then you would run this kind of subscription in order to get the data with the metadata inside of Business Data Cloud. And more specifically, it will be pushed into the object store of SAP Datasphere. As I've mentioned in the beginning, SAP Datasphere is one of the core components of Business Data Cloud. So that perfectly aligns with the strategy. So then you would have the data from BW side residing within the object store of SAP Datasphere, ready to be exposed for or as BW data products. And that can be used, as I mentioned, for AI and machine learning use cases in SAP Databricks. You could also enhance it within Datasphere, creating more analytical insights on top of that. So that is, of course, dependent on your business question. And this data product generator is supported for BW 7.5, SPS 24, and above. The same for BW4. There we support the data product generator from 2021 SPS 4 and above. Right. And that is actually already it. It's mere, let's say, to simply put, kind of a push of the BW data from BW into the object store of Datasphere, also, of course, achieving a more cost-efficient storage.
Thanks, Sandy, for that. And just to echo some partners and customers whom I have got the chance to talk, this is really a cool step towards the direction of making enterprises really an AI first and suite first you know. So kudos to you and the team on that. Uh, can you please give our listeners a quick summary, on the added value and maybe a preview on what is planned for the future, because that would be really interesting.
Yeah, of course. So, first of all, to simply put it, keep your BW as is. That's the first thing. You can just take it with you. There's no need to, let's say, spend effort on how do I move this, how do I move that. Take it BW as is, lift it to the private cloud within SAP Business Data Cloud. The next is innovate with Business Data Cloud. Dive and explore into data products, intelligent applications. Where can I reduce time to model, time to report? That would be the way forward. And then, of course, apart from that, is that with BW 7.5, I haven't mentioned it before, but there we will even have an extended maintenance. That means you have time until 2030. So the idea is not on give customers time to stick with BW, but it's an opportunity for customers to state, take BW as is, but then gradually transition. Don't focus on a migration. So there's no need for BW 7.5 customers to move to BW 4. Take it as is, no migration, and innovate with SAP Business Data Cloud. That's one thing. And in order to preview what we will be delivering in the future is something that we will enhance our data product generator in the sense of you're not just getting, let's say, the data and the description, but you'll also get association information. And we will make it more easier for you to handle a variety and a lot of info providers. But the best benefit is actually that you are going to be able to, let's say, select a composite provider, a multi provider, and you'll get all the dependent objects. So you don't have to rebuild on Business Data Cloud side, but instead you'll get all the semantics and business context as is, as you would have it from your BW on-premise system into Business Data Cloud. And specifically for BW 0.5 customers now. Before, we only supported this for BW for HANA with the model transfer. And what we will also be introducing is the same functionality in terms of getting associated information, getting the dependent objects for BW 7.5. But that's not all. And within that, the best thing is actually you still have the cost efficient storage. So before you would have a HANA Cloud, you would federate, but now you also have the option to state, I'm having everything within the object store as a local table file in SAP Datasphere within the scope of Business Data Cloud, of course. I can access this, I can model on it, I can do AI and machine learning on it, dependent on your use case, of course. But that will be really exciting when this will be introduced because that is the biggest game changer to get everything as is inside of Business Data Cloud and innovate with data products and intelligent applications in Business Data Cloud.
This is great. And I'm sure, Sandy, that, with these detailed inputs from you, our existing and potential customers and partners must have definitely gained knowledge and understood how they can approach this topic of modernizing their existing BW systems with SAP BTP. I would like to thank you from bottom of my heart for, taking out time from your schedule and getting along with our listeners. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
I would like to also highlight to our listeners that if you have any further pressing questions around this, please refer the show notes. There we have given some important links to help you get started. You can also give us a shout out on our social media channels. Plus, you can also drop us an email at platformtalks@sap.com. For the third section in today's episode, let's hear about some roadmap items from the SAP BTP services that will help your businesses run better with intelligence and sustainability at heart. With the new feature in SAP Document Info Extraction, integration with SAP Cloud Transport Management will be possible. This will enable users to transport documents, schemas, and workflows between their instances, helping them ensure that schemas and workflows are consistent across instances and facilitating better collaboration among teams and systems. On the SAP AI core side of the house, the new intelligent prompt refinement feature will enable automated prompt design recommendations. This feature will utilize AI to automatically analyze prompts for cost, quality, and security improvements, suggesting optimized prompt variations to reduce the token usage and improve output consistency. This will really help your business to reduce LLM usage costs by optimizing prompts for minimal token consumption. Then the new feature in SAP Build Code will now enable developers to debug their code with the help of the Joule copilot, helping you to quickly resolve bugs by using Joule, the generative AI assistant. And I'm sure this will be music to so many ears out there. There are more such items on the roadmap, and all these items that we discussed are planned for Q3 2025 release. Also, very important point, you should know that all these forward looking statements are subject to various risks and uncertainties that could cause actual results to differ materially from expectations. So, you're advised not to place undue reliance on these forward looking statements, which speak only as of their dates, and they should not be relied upon in making purchasing decisions. To know more about other roadmap items, please refer our show notes. I also wanted to highlight that we are rolling out multiple learning and enablement opportunities with one goal, and that is to help you and your businesses to be future ready. And for that, we have SAP BTP Innobytes, SAP BTP Garage, both in virtual format. And then also in person mode with hand on excellence workshop program for partners specifically, where we bring in content experts and their knowledge directly to you and in person. So please check Events tab in SAP Discovery Center to register yourself. Links are in the show notes. I would really like to thank you for tuning in and staying till the very end. If you are listening to us for the first time and there were concepts, terms like info cubes, composite provider, DSOs, etc., that were not clear to you, please let us know on our social media channels or drop us an email at platformtalks@sap.com so that we can help you understand them. Plus, we are always ears to your feedback. So let us know what you liked, what you didn't, and most importantly, what you wish for in the next podcast. Sharing is caring. If you agree to that, please share the podcast with your tech friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave a rating, and review. You can listen to this podcast on various mediums like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, name a few. With that, I was your host, Gaurav Dey, aka G, reporting and recording from Bangalore, India. Talk to you in the next episode. Until then, keep listening, keep learning, and keep growing. Cheers.